Hello all, welcome to the Cloud Learner channel once again. So in this tutorial we are going to talk about Subnet. Why do we need it? What is the requirement? And how to create subnets, right? In the previous video we have already discussed about what is IP address, what are the classes of IP, what is network ID, and how to calculate that subnet mask and broadcast IP, right? So let's proceed further in this video. So in this video we will first discuss that why do we need subnetting, right? So let's take an example right now. Let's suppose we have this IP 155.10.20.30. So we know this is a class B IP address, right? So if this is a class B IP address, what does this means? These two bits or these two octets belongs to network, and these two octets belongs to host. So it means if I need to calculate the IP address or network ID for so this will be the network ID, right? I already mentioned how to calculate the network ID. If you don't know, then you can see the previous video by clicking the I button over here. So this is my network ID, right? So by this ID, how much host we can create? We know 2 raised to the power 16 minus 2, that is 65534. This much amount of host we can create, okay, or this much IP address we can assign. But what will be the case if we need only 100 hosts? Okay, then what will be the case? We need to assign only 100 IPs, but here we are getting how much? 65534. So what do we do now? Because almost 65434 will get wasted, right? This is first case I am talking about. Got it? Or what we can do is, the solution of this is, using this same IP we can create network within this network, and we will assign that network to different departments. That we can do one thing. Second use case is, let's discuss second use case is to, let's suppose we have purchased this IP, right? And we have, let's suppose this is our network, this is our router, this is the case, okay? Router is used for inter networking, right? And switch is used for intra networking. Do remember this thing, clear? So we have router here, this is our router, right? And let's suppose I am having 40 users here. We need to connect 10 users here and 20 users here, and 2 IP address I need over here between these two routers, right? So what will be the case over here now? I have only one IP address range. How do we allocate the IP to my whole network? So these are two cases where we talk about subnettings. Okay, so what is subnetting actually? It is logically division of IP address, okay, or with respect to network term, so network within a network. This is our what? Subnetting. Means we have only one IP, but we will use this IP in such a way that we can create the network within this complete network, okay? So how do we do it now? This is the main question. So to perform or to make subnet, what do we do? See, I am taking the same example, okay, that let's suppose I have one company when we have different departments, and we need to connect this much of users, 10, 40 and 20, and the IP address that I'm going to use. So we have IP, let's suppose we have purchased one network ID as 197.10.10.0. this is our network ID, this is our network bits, and this is our host bit. So first step, what we need to do, convert host bit to binary, right? So here we have 0, so convert this to binary. So how do we get it now? 197.10.10.00000 0 0 0 0. This is the conversion of host bit to binary. Now after conversion, the network that we need to create, just see where you want the maximum user. Okay, so find out maximum host and then calculate how many bits you require to represent the IP address for those number of hosts. Okay, by using the formula as 2 is your n minus 2 greater than or equal to the count of maximum host. Okay, so in our case the maximum host is 40, as you can see, 40, 10, 20. So maximum host we need is 40, so it will be 2 raised to our n minus 240. So we need to put the value of n in such a way that this portion will satisfy this equation. So if I will put, let's suppose 1 here, okay, so what I will get 0, which was not possible. Okay, if I will, let's suppose, do n equal to 2, then 2 to the 4 minus 2, which will not satisfy our equation. So on. If I will put, let's suppose, n is equal to 6, so 2 raised to 6 is 64. So 64 minus 2 is how much we will get? 62. Now 62 is greater than 40. So this is the correct equation. So here we need to find out the value of n. So here what I will get? N as 6, right? So now after getting the value of n, what I need to do? I go to the third step. I will write down once again the same IP 197.10.10.1234567 Now from RHS I will count up to 6th bit. 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the 6th bit and I will leave it. Now what I'm going to do is, in the 4th portion, the bits which are remaining, right, we will give to the network. How? As I told you, if we want to represent our network bits, what we do? We usually represent network bit by 1. So just convert host bit to network bit. Okay, so you can also say that subnetting means giving host bit to the network, right? So what will be the case now? 197.10.10.11000000. So these 2 bits I have given to the network, right? Clear? So now if I will write it, so what it will be? 197.10.10. This will be 192. Okay, so this is how we can come up to 6th stage. Now proceed further. If I will ask you to calculate the subnet mask for the same, how do we calculate it? See, so to calculate the subnet mask, what I told you, make every network bit as 1. Okay, so this is 197.10.10 and 2 bits from here. So it will be 255.255.255.192. This will be the subnet mask. Okay, this will be our subnet mask, right? I hope till now it is clear what we have done. First we have converted our host bit to the binary, then we have find out the maximum host where we require, then after that we have find out the value of n. After finding out the value of n, we have just counted from RHS. Now whatever the host bits got left, we have just converted to the network bit by assigning 1 to them, and we have calculated the new network, and then we have calculated the subnet mask. Now proceed further. We got this IP 197.10.11000000. So now it's the time to create our subnet. So how do we create our subnet? Let's suppose we need to create our first subnet. How do we do it? So see, we have 6 bit right? For the host, we need to pick out this first bit from RHS that we have given to the network, and just we need to see what is the weight of this bit. So we know this is 2 raised to the power 7, right? That is 64. So our first IP, what was that? 197.10.10.0. This was our network IP, right? So if I need to create the subnet now, what I need to do, I need to add 64 every time to this IP. Means the next subnet IP will be 10.10.64, right? Subnet 2 will be 197.10.10.128. Not subnet 1, this will be subnet 2, this will be subnet 3, and this will be subnet 1 hour. Okay, this will give a subnet 1, this will give subnet 2, and this will give subnet 3, and this will give our subnet 4. 197.10.10.192, right? After that, if I will add 64 once again, so it will give me the count of 256, which is not possible in octet, right? Clear? So we need to give bit to the next, means this will become 11. So if this will become 11, then our IP, network IP, gets changed, so we can't use it. I hope this is clear, right? So this is what how to create the subnets. I hope this is clear to all of you. Now talking about CIDR, classless inter-domain routing. So let's suppose we have 197 that we got initially as our network IP. So this is our class C network IP. Okay, by default we have 24 bits for the network and 8 bits for the host. So if I need to define CIDR for this IP, so what I will do, slash how many bits I have given to the network. Here I have given how much? 24 bits, right? In the same way, let's suppose if I have the range of 115.16.8.0, so this is my class A IP. So here it will be 8 by default, right? Let's suppose if I will be having, let's suppose 155.24.12.0, this is our class B, so this is 16. So this is what our by default CIDR. Okay, this is our by default CIDR for the classes. But right now what we had done, we had given 2 IPs, or sorry, 2 bits from our host bits to the network. So how many bits are now there for the network portion? 26. So in this case 197.10.10.0, if I will have to write the first subnet IP, so how I will write it? 26. For the second, 197.10.10.64, 26. Okay, same here, 26 I will put, here 26 I will put. So this is what CIDR, classless inter-domain routing, which tells us that how many bits are kept by the network. Okay, so this is how we create the subnet and we create the CIDR, right? So I hope you got the point. I tried enough to tell all the things very clearly, step by step. If in case you have any kind of doubt, kindly do let me know. We will discuss once again. Thank you so much. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.